Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode 12, DJI Mavic 4 Pro, best leak yet. Hope everyone is doing well. I know, my gosh, you guys were on the ball here. Now, let's see who's all here. We've got a full house here already. Joe America, Drone Shots, Josh is here, Akarasho. Let's see who else. Waypoint New England, Flying Flynn, John, welcome. Richard is here. Jaybird is here. Welcome. Lauren is here. Welcome. Eddie, hey, thanks for stopping by tonight. Appreciate it. Great job on Drone Nation last night, by the way, Eddie. Fly Guy Merrill and Captain Ray is here. Okay. Yeah, we got some elite company here tonight. We got Eddie Nunez is here. We got Captain Ray here tonight. We got Lauren here tonight. Yeah. We're doing really, really good. You're welcome, Eddie. Eddie, I'm gonna have you on sometime. You were so good last night on Drone Nation. We're gonna have you on, and I'm gonna get you on a couple times a year too. I think you have such a great drone knowledge, and you're real. You do a great job with your channel and your videos and everything. So, okay, all right, wow, okay, got a lot to talk about tonight. Ron's gonna join me here in a little bit. South Florida drone meetup is coming up, so be prepared. Okay, it's coming up pretty fast, and I know Valerie's like super excited. But yes, Valerie is excited. Okay, everybody's asking me what drone I'm going to bring. I said I don't need to bring a drone. I'm bringing Valerie. Okay, there's no need for me to bring a drone. But just all kidding aside, she really is looking forward to it. She enjoyed meeting so many of you guys last year. It was fantastic. I did as well, of course. We're coming in Friday. We're going to be there for the meet and greet Friday night at the pool bowling alley. That was a lot of fun. We didn't do that last time, but we're going to do that this year. And we'll be there all day during the day Saturday. We're going to leave Saturday afternoon. Obviously, that thing called paycheck from Monday through Friday calls. So we want to head back in time and get ready for that because we have brutal weeks coming up for both of us at work. So anyhow, okay. All right. Yeah. Captain Ray, she is really looking forward to it. I can tell you that right now. She really is. This is one of her favorite things that she likes to do. Because she loves talking to people and she loves meeting all of you. So we're really looking forward to that. That should be great. Okay. Got a lot to talk about tonight. And where am I going to start? Okay, I know where we're going to start. All right, went out to Drone DJ today, and I saw this, and I wanted to share this with you, which I thought was real interesting. And this is this poll over here. Okay, which unreleased DJI drone are you most excited for? Now, this is it. Total of 49 votes. Mavic 4 Pro got 36.73%. The Air 4 got 5 votes at 10.2%. The Mini 5 Pro, 26 votes at 53.06%. So according to this, what people are looking for the most is the Mini 5 Pro, and then the Mavic 4 Pro, and then the Air 4. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But I thought that's real interesting, and I wanted to kind of pass that on to you guys to let you guys know about that. Real interesting. Well, it kind of bears out too, because if you look in, DJI does not release its sales figures. You guys know that. But one of the things that I go by, Dr. Ted, welcome. Good to see you. Glad you're here tonight. Mark, welcome. Good to see you too. One of the things I roughly gauge drone sales by is the number of people that have joined groups. Okay. And my largest group by far is my DJI Mini group. It's right up there. I think the second largest is the DJI Air group, believe it or not. And then the third largest would be the Mavic group. Okay. And I've kind of broken that down into different iterations, but that's kind of how I gauge things like that. So now, we all heard some news about the Mini 4 Pro. or Mini 4 Pro. We all heard some news about the Mini 4K. Okay. Well, I wanted to show you guys something else, and I quite accidentally came across this by accident because I hadn't seen it advertised anywhere. And it really kind of floors me that Drone DJ or Drone to XL doesn't pick this up. The Spectre Mini is $219 right now. Yes, that is not a typo. That is there. That is real. And they are in stock, and you can go ahead and order them on Amazon right now. $219. You're ordering this directly. Well, through Spectre, through Amazon. It's there. They're legit, 100%. I know many of you have asked me about the batteries, okay? And, that's an email that I'll get multiple times a week. I did reach out to my contacts at Cogito or Cogito. All right, I'm not sure how I pronounce that. But anyway, I did reach out to my contacts, and they said in the next 2 weeks, they're going to get resupplied with batteries, all right? So, and one thing I can tell you is when you go to order batteries, okay, you can only order one at a time. So what I would do is this. If you wanted to get 2 batteries, order one, pay for it, buy it, go through the whole thing, all right? Then go right back there, order another battery, and pay for it. And I would say this, in order to kind of spread the love and make sure there's plenty of batteries available for everybody, just order 2 for now, okay? Because you get one with a drone, so you'll have a total of 3. I have 4. They had sent me another one. Mr. Ron Brown, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I just saw some big news before I came to the show. Russell Wilson signing with the New York Football Giants.
Yes, I did see that. And we will talk about that during our football later. This is
give him a little. I had to give him a little teaser there, Bill.
This is other big news right here. The Spectre Mini is on sale for $219.
Is that the lowest price we've ever seen it at, Bill?
Yes, that is the lowest price on that. And I was I totally came across this by accident because somebody had asked me about sending them a link to order a battery. So I was going out there, and then I bring this up, and lo and behold, $219. I'm just wow.
Yeah, I mean, we see some good prices. You probably saw Drone Nation last night. We talked about we had the Mavic 3 Pro. Now, not as cheap as you got it, Bill, but for $15.99, brand new.
I saw that. I did see that. Of course, that deal it was here and gone. I mean, it went really fast. Now DJI has the Mini 4K, and I'm going to bring this up here right now for $250. Okay.
Oh wow.
And here it is right here.
We think they're the same drone, right?
Right. The Mini 4K and the Spectre Mini are the same drone, exactly. Just a different name, just a different label on it. That's all. Everything is exactly the same on both drones. Same controller, same battery. Everything is the same. And now what I tell people who are new to the whole thing and getting, looking at Spectre versus DJI, understand while the batteries can charge on the same charging system as DJI's, they're not swappable because of the software and the batteries. Okay. That's why you can't use a DJI battery in a Spectre drone, and you can't use a Spectre battery in a DJI drone. That's just, it doesn't work like that. So, but yeah, they're $250 on Amazon Prime Spring deal right now. And then you just saw $219 for the Spectre Mini right now. Now I did reach out to
Bill, quick question before you go in too much further. Do the Spectre drones, do they have the same problem as DJI with shipping issues, or do they come through on they just come on right through?
Oh, they're right there. They're because you order them from Amazon. They're at Amazon.
There's no
customs
shipping issues
or anything. They're right there.
Clarifying that, Bill. Yeah,
that's a good question. These Mini 4Ks are coming through Amazon as well, so there's no issues with them as well. So it's real interesting that these Prime Day deals come out. And like I said, I totally found the Spectre Mini by accident. I wasn't even looking for it, and it popped up. I'm like, wow, okay, wow. That was pretty impressive. That really was. So, and then also in line with this too, which I thought was really interesting here, is that yeah, and this is kind of it's in the Mini 4 series, but we're still kind of talking mini drones here. Let me go ahead and bring this article up. Okay, DJI had a huge update for the Mini 4 Pro drone, gains MSDK support for automated custom flights. Okay, Mini 4 Pro users, DJI has rolled out a major update to its mobile software development kit, unlocking powerful third-party app integrations for the popular sub 250-gram drone. Its game-changing update means users can now access advanced flight automation, custom waypoints, and precision mapping through apps like Lexar, Drone Deploy, and Drone Harmony, bringing pro-level functionality to an already impressive drone. Okay, that's incredible, Ron, that they're doing that. That's absolutely incredible.
Right. Yeah. I mean, previously in years past, the mini drones, as soon as they were about a year old, they would get the SDK kit where people could do this. But the Mini 4 Pro has been out almost 2 years now, so a little late coming. But yeah, it's a good thing. But in the old days, the apps like the Lexar stuff were great because they could unlock features in DJI budget drones, like say the Mini 1, Mini 2, waypoints, tracking that weren't available from DJI. But the Mini 4 Pro, already has waypoints and tracking, but it does unlock the mapping.
Right. It
allows it to work with third party mapping apps, is what it does.
Yeah. And for me here with this, okay, this is also, and I kind of want to bring this up too. I think this is also a signal. Okay, I think DJI is signaling they're going to be doing some things later on this year. Stay tuned. So when they offer something like this, basically, I think you're probably going to find maybe in another year or so, they're probably going to drop support for it. That's just a guess on my part. And we're probably going to see a Mini 5 Pro, I would say, in the latter part of this year. That's just
I agree. This to me, this SDK kit for the Mini 4 Pro shows me the Mini 4 Pro's near end of life.
Yeah. And that's a real good bellwether for that. That means, we're going to be seeing this sooner rather than later in terms of getting a Mini 5 Pro here. Now, as I signed on
But Bill, before we move too far off this topic, I just want to make one point. In the last year or two, DJI has changed their SDK kit. We'll call them, the way it works. They used to make one for Apple iOS and Android, but they no longer make the iOS SDK kit for the products. So to run this, you will have to have a first of all, you have to have a DJI RC controller that doesn't have the screen, and second, you will have to have an Android device.
Right. Very, very good points, Ron. Thank you for those points. This is kind of
and the Android device can't be the RC control with the screen, and it can't be that Android device. Right. It has to be like a phone, a tablet, or so on.
Right. It can't be something that's kind of like the DJI ones with the screens, basically. Yeah, we can't do that. But yeah, you're right, and that's a real good point about that. So I think that's pretty important here. Now, kind of and one of the things that I want before I go on, right before I had you on, Drone DJ took a poll on what drone are you looking forward to the most, and most people said the Mini 5 Pro, followed by the Mavic 4 Pro, followed by the DJI Air 4. Small sample size, less than 50 people or so, but still it kind of gives you a representation too. And as I said, when I let in earlier, is I kind of go by how many people have joined my groups. And by far and away, the most popular group I have is the DJI Mini group.
And it always will be.
Yeah, and then the next most popular one is the Air group. So
yeah, it basically goes by price point. But hey, Bill, I don't want to get you too far off topic here, but in years past, you're right. We have the Mavic 4, or Mavic 4 Pro, whatever you can call it, coming up soon now. But lots of times we're even looking forward to the next drones down the road, like you said, Mini 5 Pro, Air 4. But to me, this time, this is not a good thing, Bill. I'm no longer looking down the road, because if the Mavic 4 comes out and it can't be shipped to be in the US or whatever, then I mean, it's no use me thinking about other drones until this drone can be delivered to me in the old way, where I get it in a, I ordered it, comes. I don't have to fight customs. I don't have to order. I don't have to drive to Canada. If any of that thing occurs with the Mavic 4, I will no longer be looking forward to those other drones, because if I can't get them, I'm not really thinking about them much. And I hate to say that, but that's kind of the times we live in right now. That, to me, D-Day or whatever you want to call it, Mavic 4 Pro being how it's released in the US is D-Day for me.
Right. And I think something that bodes well with this, and this is a subject I wanted to bring up, and I don't have a graph or a screen on this, is that the Air 3S and the Mini 4 Pro are available to order directly from DJI right now. You can go out to the DJI website and it shows you're getting them in like 2 days. So what that means and what that signals to me is that they have them in supply here in the United States. Okay. And I think what they're trying to do, and I know we kind of touched on this last week a little bit, I think they're going to try. And I think the whole thing with the customs issue was that DJI was accused of using the Uyghurs as forced labor, and I think that was proved false. Okay, they don't have forced labor. They only have 2 places that they build their drones. It's in Shenzhen in Malaysia, and there's no Uyghurs there, and there's no forced laborers. Everybody's employed by DJI. So, I think they proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt, because I think this whole customs things, I think, is gone. All right. So that's why, number one, why we're seeing like the Air 3S and the Mini 4 Pro. And number 2, I think what's going to happen here, because we have some time, because, and we're going to get to the release date for the Mavic 4 Pro here in a moment. But with that being said, what DJI is trying to do at this point, okay, is to get that stock here over in the United States. So when you order it, okay, you're going to have maybe a 2-day wait before you get it. All right. Because DJI got smart, and this goes back. This is just a little bit of a DJI history lesson here. With the original Mavic Pro, when it came out, they learned their lesson. They underestimated, and sales just went through the roof. Well, a lot of people had to wait almost 6 months to get them because of that. So DJI, what they did was they built several distribution centers here in the United States. I know there's one in New Jersey, there's one in Atlanta, I believe there's one in Chicago, and there's one out in California. So by doing that, they spread their product around so it's ready and available when you order it on release day, and you'll get it in like 2 days. And I think that's exactly what's happening in this instance. There's enough time for DJI to get these pallets over. And like I said, and I think I mentioned this last week, when you get a pallet over, okay, instead of individual drones, there's just one barcode to scan whenever they do their customs work, paperwork, okay? They don't scan 100 drones. They scan one barcode, and then they pass it, okay? And I think that's what's going to happen here. They'll get them here. They'll get them in stock, and I think we're not going to have that issue where there's going to be delays because of customs or anything. I think we can safely put that in the rearview mirror, Ron.
I hope you're right, Bill. Of course, we had kind of a twofold problem sometime last year with the Air 3S, with the Neo, whatever, where there didn't seem to be any stock in the U.S. And plus, beyond DJI, no third-party vendors seem to have stock of those drones in the U.S. And that, of course, is a secondary issue to drones being stuck at customs. So we had 2 factors working against us going back to, I don't know, the middle of last year. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things, I think, that a lot of people kind of got a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth with DJI. It's like, oh man. And I know there's several who watch your show and my show have actually experienced that with this delay through customs and ordering. And it's been a nightmare for them. Okay. I know Original Dobo was one. And there's quite a few of people out there that had that, and I really feel.
And what just let people know, Dobo and all these people, they got refunded their money. They were frustrated, right? They didn't get their drones, but they weren't out money.
Yeah, DJI did a good job with that. So That's nice, FTFO. Thank you for sharing that. That's very, very good news.
Oh, okay. Good.
That's very good to hear. So, there's some other sales that are going on right now, and I want to cover a couple of them right now before we get into the Mavic 4 Pro. Now, if you're looking for an action camera on the Action 5, wow. I mean, $369 for the base unit instead of $449.
No, that's the adventure combo for $369.
That's the adventure combo.
The base unit's like $329.
$319. Okay. I mean, wow. I mean, if you're looking for this, you need to get on and hit that buy button now, because these are absolutely insane prices. And I'm going to go out there.
We don't know how long these are going to last either, Bill.
Right. That's I was going to say that as well. We don't know how long they'll last. So don't wait too long. Don't wait overnight. If you're going to get one of these, do it now. And the other thing is, I think with this, because there's been talk about an Action 6 already. Okay. So I think it's probably in the works. All right. Because when DJI starts to do these price drops, there's a reason for it. Okay. They want to clear out that inventory, and clearing out that inventory means it's going to be a great savings for you. This is an exceptional action cam, Ron. Exceptional. I don't have, there isn't enough praise I can lavish on the Action 5. It does everything. It does it so well. The colors are just so pop. They're clear. It works seamlessly with the mic 2. The audio is crystal clear with that. I mean, and the controls are easy to use. And I know Eddie talked about this last night too, and that he brought up a real good point. These controls are so easy to use on the Action 5, on the Action 4 and Action 5 cam. They're very intuitive versus, and I didn't have a GoPro, but he was right. GoPro menus are very cumbersome and very, can get bogged down. You don't do that with DJI. It's very straightforward, upfront, direct to the point. So if you're thinking about it, get one now. Don't hesitate. These prices are absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we don't know how long they're going to last, and you can wait for the Action 6. But I think I was making this point a little bit last night, Bill. You live in Florida, so you could film maybe all year round. But for people living in colder thing, it doesn't do a lot of us good to get. The Action camera comes out in September. By the time we get it, it's October, and by the time we get used to it, it's cold and we're inside all winter. For a lot of us, this summer, spring, summer, and fall is when you want to have the camera in the hand. You don't want to be waiting until the new one comes out and the good weather's gone.
I agree, Ron. Now, the other thing DJI has on sale, which it kind of really has stopped being on sale, is the DJI Power 1000. Right now, it's 58% off on the Amazon Big Spring deal. You can get it for only $419, originally listed at $999. I mean, it does everything. It does it well. I purchased the cables to be able to charge drone batteries with this. You don't need to do that, but I did just for grins and giggles, just to have another method to be able to do that. It's invaluable. I mean, it's a great resource. If you have more than one drone, this is an excellent resource, because you're going to be charging batteries. You're going to need charging controllers, and you're going to need to be able to do it. And here is a one-stop shopping with this, Ron, especially if you're out in the field. If you're out all day, you can put this in the back of your vehicle. It's there. It's ready to go. You don't have to mess around.
And especially for, you, Bill, if you have a hurricane, you lose power for hours on end. This can, be a lifesaver at the house, keeping devices like cell phones and stuff charged up.
Yeah, we'll see. We have the generator here, so we're good as far as power for the house is concerned. But with that, and a lot of people don't know, you don't want to draw too much power, because while you want your things like your refrigerator to run, you want your air conditioning to run, you start shutting down some other things around the house, because you don't want it to draw. Because what happens is it draws natural gas. Okay, that's what powers the generator out there. And because of that, they also tell you don't cook on the stove whenever you have a pot, whenever the generator is running, because it's going to take extra natural gas to do that, and you're going to get brownouts in the house. So you have to be kind of wise when you have that whole home generator. And that's one thing that you do is you do things like you turn the air conditioning up, you shut off some lights around the house, you shut off some other appliances that aren't needed. Obviously keep the refrigerator and the freezer on, those kind of things. And you can use the microwave. The microwave is fine. So, but yeah, this is invaluable, especially during a power outage like this. This is great for me because I have all these ham radios to charge up as well too. And it's invaluable. And this is a great price and a great deal. And it's something that I highly recommend for you guys. I mean, it's $499. You can't beat that price. And I know John says so. So that's proof enough right there. If Johnny likes it, we're good to go on that. So, all right. Well, now it's the moment of truth. All right. We got the mother of all leaks on this week with the Mavic 4 Pro. I mean, it was like a kid in a candy store as far as that's concerned. We found out just about everything. I mean, we didn't get to see the box, but we got some absolutely incredible information. And let's go ahead and get this up here and share this with everybody, okay? DJI Mavic 4 Pro launch date, key features, and prices leaked, okay? When will the Mavic 4 be launched by DJI? And this is from Jasper Ellens, by the way. The first thing my friend told me is something we've all guessed but was never confirmed. Expected and set launch date of the upcoming DJI Mavic 4 will be launched on Thursday, 24 of April, 2025. I consider this date to be true. Both of these little birds individually told me this date and have never once given me wrong info on previous leaks. So set your calendars to the 17th where we can expect the official DJI teaser, okay? And you know that's going to come through DJI. They always do a real good job with their teasers right there, okay? Now, 7 key features now confirmed on the DJI Mavic 4. In past months, it's good to know that they were previously all from unknown and unverifiable Chinese sources. It's not that I think they aren't relevant, but personally rather wait for DJI sending out official statements to the world. Enough said. Here are the 7 key features the DJI Mavic 4 Pro will be known for. 1, the drone will have 3 cameras. Focal lengths will be 28 millimeters, 70 millimeters, and 168 millimeters. 2, maximum recording will be 6K with a bigger sensor size than the DJI Mavic 3. 3, the all-new design gimbal will have 360 degrees multi-directional movement. 4, say goodbye to ND filters lens attachments. The DJI Mavic 4 Pro will have an electronic ND filter system. 5, the flight time of the DJI Mavic 4 Pro will be 52 minutes advertised. 6, the charging of 3 DJI Mavic intelligent flight batteries will take only 90 minutes, like we learned from the leaked 240-watt charger specs last week. 7, the drone will come with the all-new DJI RC Pro 2 controller with a 7-inch tilting touchscreen. Okay, and there's another picture of that. What will the price be? Okay, and this is like get one piggy bank out, get a second one out. You may want to break a third or a fourth here. Okay, the DJI Mavic 4 Pro with the DJI RC2 will cost $22,250. The DJI Mavic 4 Pro Fly More combo with DJI RC2 will cost $3,200. And last but not least, the DJI Mavic 4 Pro 512 gigabyte creator combo with the all-new DJI RC Pro 2 controller will cost $4,400. Although the DJI Mavic 4 is only 5 weeks from being launched, people in the United States are already wondering if they can even get their hands on a unit and what the prices of the Chinese drones will do at the border customs. You probably won't have any problem getting the drone delivered 1 or 2 weeks after launch, okay? More leaks in the next weeks. Personally, I hope this article gives you some clarity in terms of uncountable leaked pictures and multiple rumors around the drone. If you'd like to read more and you want to support my articles, please share this page or tweets on X. Jasper, thanks everybody for that information. Now, there's also an article here, and I want to get this shared, and we'll start talking about it here. And this one is from Drone DJ. We're going to go ahead and share this here. Okay, and it says, be prepared to spend big on DJI's Mavic 4 Pro. Okay. All right, there we go. Looks like we have a new leaker coming onto the scene. And, again, I'm going to bow out of this leaker. I don't think he's reliable. He's just regurgitating what Jasper and Igor have already said right here. But basically, that's obviously, this is old news. We already had that, but it lists the battery information, the milliamp hours, and the watts on here. They're talking about the old prices for the Mavic 3 Pro, $21.99 with the Cine version coming in at $47.99. Yeah, and he's not correct here. So yeah, so we're gonna kind of put that by the side.
He made some pretty wild claims in that article, Bill.
Yeah, he does, and I think Jasper and Igor are reliable. They have consistently been right about these releases, and that's why I like going with them. And I put a comment out there, and I sent it to Drone DJ too. I said, you guys have always had quality stuff, but you put a leaker out there who isn't known, who has no credibility at all, and you're putting an article out there about him. Okay, you need to be real careful about this kind of stuff, because he has no proven track record, where Igor and Jasper Ellens do have a proven track record. And that's who you want to get your information from, people that have had a proven track record. And I agree. I think, what Jasper's telling us, what Igor is telling us, this is what it is. This is what's coming, Ron.
Correct. And Bill, you talked about the pricing, but what if this is, I'll be very happy if that pricing is correct on the low end. $22.50 for a Mavic 4 with a controller and one battery. That's only like $50 more than the Mavic 3 with a similar setup has. So we're only paying $50 for all this stuff. And Bill, I said, again, I probably said this last night or last week. So you get a second battery there. You got 52 minutes. You said battery life. So you buy a second battery. With two batteries, you got 104 minutes of flight time or whatever. And I know the battery's going to be like 250, something like that or whatever. So that's going to put you up near 2,500. But really, that doesn't sound too bad, does it, Bill? No,
it doesn't. And well, Bill Thomas just put it right there. He talked about we won't need more than one battery with 50 minutes. We'll buy two. But really, in essence, Ron, whenever I've flown, the Mavic 3 Pro, with the way the batteries are right now, I was done, and I had at least 10 minutes to spare, and I took a long flight with that. So yeah, I think it'll be the same here for most of us.
No, I agree. I don't need more than 50 minutes for the flight at one location, but sometimes I may fly two locations in a day, and I like a battery for each location. But right. Again, if I can't get the footage I need at a location in 50 minutes, I'm not flying too well.
Yeah. And one of the other things, if you think about it too, and let's just extrapolate a little bit here. We're wanting to film a sunset and do a hyperlapse, okay? And we want to do an extended hyperlapse, all right? Well, these are the kind of batteries that you can do that. You can have your drone up there for 20 minutes, doing a hyperlapse, because it does, as everyone is well aware, you need to get hundreds and hundreds of pictures to get a decent hyperlapse on something like that. So it's going to sit up there for a while. It's going to chew up battery. All right. So this is a kind of a great use case for something like this. Obviously, you're not going to fly this 10 miles out and 10 miles back kind of a thing. All right. Obviously, because of BVLOS, but you will have the capability for extended flight time over subjects. All right. Or like, for example, the example I just mentioned, doing a hyper. And then, and doing multiple things on the same flight. And I think I did that. I did a video with the Mavic 3 Pro showing, I did a hyperlapse on it. I went and I did a master shots with it. I went and I did a, what's the not the waypoint, but
master shots.
I did master shots, but I also did one with I put the middle of the pool as a focal point.
Waypoints.
Yeah. I did that. So, I did multiple ones there to test that battery, and I still ended up having like about 10 minutes left. All right. So, you can do a lot on one of these batteries, like, the Mavic 3 Pro. Imagine the Mavic 4 Pro with a 50-minute battery on there. Okay. You're like what, 10 minutes short of an hour on this battery. That's
the sunsets don't last that long. That's enough time to get your hyperlapse on the sunset.
Yeah.
But just back to the point that if these prices are true, and whether the tariffs affect these or not, we won't know until the day of release. But to me, these are reasonable prices, and the kit, the bundle. If they didn't have a Mavic 3 fly more combo, but if you did your own fly more combo, it came out to about $3,200 or whatever. And the thing, so far, Bill, we haven't seen that bag. Remember, the thing that caused the Mavic 3 to be so high was they included a bag that was like a $300-$400 bag, drone bag.
Yeah. And see, here's another thing with this too, Ron, and this is what a lot of people don't know, that they can do this, all right? Because they're looking at sticker shock saying, they want to get the DJI RC Pro 2, okay, which I understand. But they're looking at it like, oh, you got to buy the package. Well, I would say chances are, and of course, we don't know anything until the actual release day. But what I would do is this, and this is just me, all right? I would get a basic one and get one extra battery with that, all right? But when you do that, and here's the way to order, all right? And this is something I think you guys can take this to heart. It's a good lesson here, all right? Order the drone by itself, okay? Just the drone, all right? Order
the base kit. Yeah,
the base kit, all right? Yeah. Then order a la carte. Say order a battery, order it by itself, okay? Pay for it, get it shipped, all right? And then if the controller's available, order that by itself and then get that shipped, all right? Because what happens is when you bundle all these together, it's going to delay your getting the drone, and you don't want to do something like that.
Right. If any one of those components is delayed, the whole order will be delayed. It's a great point, Bill. And you talked about the base kit, Bill. I don't know if these rumors said it, but we've had other rumors before that said the base Mavic 4 will include the DJI RC-2. So you're not just getting the screw without controller. I mean, you're getting the DJI RC-2 if these rumors are true. So you're already getting a good control with a built-in screen. I mean, personally, the RC Pro was real nice controller, no doubt about it, whatever. But if I'm on a little bit of a cost conscious, I'd rather have the drone, and I can still get by with the DJI RC-2 controller and maybe save up down the road, because we knew the last time the RC Pro was $1,300. And it's not going to be any cheaper than it this time around. It's only going to get more expensive, right?
Oh, I agree. It's just going to be.
We're going from a 5.5 inch on the current RC Pro to a 7-inch, according to rumors, on this too. So that alone is going to be a price bump, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, that price is still holding on the DJI RC Pro. It's still holding right now, right around the $999,000. Okay. And that's old technology. That's been out at least 2, if not 3 years. So, that's been sitting there for a while. And I think if people are smart, like you said, okay, well, go ahead and you'll get that base kit, all right, and then order an extra battery. And if the RC2 is fine for you, then use it, okay? That's absolutely fine. But I think from what I'm hearing, and this is just me, I think that this rotating screen and everything, it's going to be bigger, and I think a lot of people are going to like that. And I think the other thing,
an inch and a half bigger, supposedly. Yeah.
Right. And I think the other thing is the number of nits on this screen, especially here in Florida. Okay. And after having been here a month now, when the sun's out, it's pretty bright. And you need to have a bright controller up there when you're flying in the state of Florida. So, maybe it does have that. So it's something that you want to kind of keep in the back of your mind. I mean, don't get into the mindset that you need to buy the Mac Daddy and spend $4,400.
All in one purchase. Yeah.
Right. You don't need to do that. Okay. Don't do that, because you'll be shooting yourself in the foot. And like Ron said, he mentioned a really good point. The price of the base unit compared to the price of the Mavic 3 Pro. I mean, wow. Talk about how the advancement in technology that you're getting, okay, versus the Mavic 3 Pro. And it's just a very slight price bump with something like that. That's a really good deal, Ron. That really is.
And Bill, you jumping subject a little bit here. You talked about the most expensive bundle being 4,400 or something, and that having 512 of onboard storage, right?
Right.
How much
Right.
onboard storage do you think the base drone will have?
That's a real good question. I imagine it probably the Air 3S has 32 gig. Am I right?
I think it's some odd number in the 40s, like 46 or something.
Okay, yeah, it's
42,
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll have something like that with the base.
I mean, no less than the Air 3S, in other words.
Right, no less than the Air 3S. Now, I know from you guys, and a lot of people in the chat were talking last night about the ND filters, and I think Eddie kind of brought up a good point. That they'll make it like it'll be in that you have to buy the 512 gigabyte version to get the ND filters. I think that's going to be available to everybody. Okay, I don't think that's going to be like a cine option or anything like that.
Right.
I think that's going to be available to everybody. I don't think.
Well, the point we brought up, though, wonder if that'll be available for all three cameras. Because only the we don't know this. We don't know this rumors, but right now on the current Mavic 3 Pro and even the Air 3S, what was it? Only. I was thinking so hard, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, Bill. But before, go to Lauren's last comment here, about 3 comments back, where Lauren says, some people don't like the idea of the new controller because the size is less portable. So that is something to consider. I mean, that bigger screen or whatever, you're going to be carrying around almost like an enterprise looking controller. And I mean, sure, if you're a professional in a job or whatever, but if you're just kind of a hobbyist on a run and gun, you like to kind of have a mobile kit with you. You don't want a controller that takes up half your drone bag, right?
Oh yeah. You want to have room out there, and that's a good point that Lauren brings up here, because I'm gonna go back to what I have to say. When I broke my hand, okay, and when I was flying, I was still what helped me a great deal was having a shoulder strap and having the controller there. That made all the difference in the world. I mean, that really made it easy for me to fly, even with one hand. Okay. I could still use this hand, but it was very limited. All right. So I get what Lauren's saying here. I think a lot of people it can be a little unwieldy at times. For example, when you're using a tablet with these drones and you're using, say, Thor mounts, okay, who builds great mounts for drones, okay, and for the controllers, it can be a little unwieldy. So you do need to have that neck strap around if you're going to use something like that. But I think conversely, I think that's the price you pay for having a bigger screen size. And as you know, when you get to be our incredible age, okay,
right,
bigger screen sizes have a tendency to always be better.
Bigger the better.
So that's one of the things I think some people will be taking into account for them, because if it's a bigger screen size, that means it's easier for them to be able to see and read and do what they need to do on the controller screen.
Right.
I mean,
Eddie's helping an old man finish his train of thought here. I was trying to say that on the Mavic 3, only the main camera has an aperture controller. So I wonder if only the main camera will have the built-in ND filters or whatever. And of course,
that's a good point.
But also, we don't know. Maybe one of the improvements on the Mavic 4 will be maybe some of the other lenses will have aperture control on them and not just the main one. I mean, wouldn't it be great if they put the aperture control on the 3X telly?
That would be fantastic if they did. That may be, going and fitting in line with what Eddie was saying. We might, that 512K version might be like a cine type of version, and it may have some extra bells and whistles on it that the Mavic 4 Pro, the base version, doesn't have, and that might be one of them. That could be something there. And I think one of the other things, I think a lot of people will be concerned, and I know I'll get emails about it. I can just see, I probably got them already sitting in my inbox, is the OcuSync system, whether or not if they do the RC Pro 2 controller, will it be backwards compatible with other drones? Okay, because that's a big topic. A lot of people, when the RC Pro came out, what's it compatible with? Is it backwards compatible? Can I use it with X, Y, and Z kind of a thing? And I think you'll be getting the same reaction with this. I know, because I already got an email today, basically in that line, in that context. Is it going to be backwards compatible, or will it just be going forward with what I can use for this? And I said, obviously, we don't know until the drone gets released and we see it, and we can actually see on the box. And once
Bill, you make a great point. The history of the Pro controllers, that first one, whatever they called it, the Pro controllers have a history of not working with many other DJI drones. So don't plan on buying this controller to work with your whole line of DJI drones, because it seems to all be tied to the OcuSync. So once the OcuSync changes, that controller won't work with. Like if this comes out with OcuSync 4, it should be compatible with the Air 3S and the Mini 4 Pro, and I think they're the only two that I don't think I can count. But
exactly.
But if it comes out with a 4.5 OcuSync 4.5, 4.5, it may not even be compatible with the Air 3S, the most recent drone. Hey, Bill Thomas makes a good point about 5 comments back. He's about the controller. You talk about the screen detachment, or he did. What if you could unplug the screen and store it easier? Because the screen does look like it raises up.
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's a real good point. Is it detachable? I think is what Bill's saying here, and that's a good point. Maybe it is detachable. Who knows? I mean, that would, that would be very, very interesting to see if something like that happens here. So, I mean, and I think, you need to be careful here. And I think Ron brought up a real good point as well, too. Don't, if you're looking at and you're interested in this controller, all right, we don't know exactly for sure, but my guess is the only other drones it'll work with will be like the Air 3S and the Mini 4 Pro. Okay. Don't count on it with any other drone.
If even that, I wouldn't be surprised the only drone it worked with out of the box was the Mavic 4.
100% right. 100% right. And let's hope here, and this is one thing I know, I don't know if we talked about it this week or the week before, but let's hope that coming out of the gates here with this Mavic 4 Pro, that we don't have like an issue like we had with the Mavic 3 when it was originally released, with the GPS and getting satellites, because that was a real nightmare for a while.
And Bill, I'm going to give DJI a little slack here. They've released how many drones over the years? We can't even count them all, and that's the only one ever came out with the GPS issue. So I don't think I wouldn't worry about this time around. Again, it only ever happened one time. Yeah,
I think you're right on that score. I think it was a blip on the radar screen. That's something that you'll see once in a blue moon, and that's what we had. Unfortunately, all the stars lined up and boom, we had that issue. But now with this, I don't think we're going to have that issue. And I really think, I really do believe this, that they're going to have enough units in stock that when, I know Lauren said something about the 22nd, Jasper says the 24th as far as the release date is concerned. I think there's going to be stock in. I think when you order it, and I think this is a key here, depending upon what you order, I think, they're going to have so many base units in, they're going to have so many Fly More combos in with it, and then they're going to have so many of the $4,400 in, okay? And I think where they're going to have more of them is going to be probably the middle ground with the Fly More combo. So if you wanted to get a base unit, okay, don't be sitting there and hesitating, all right? If it shows available, order it right away. Don't sit there and think about it, okay? Order it, because what's going to happen is you'll see in about 5 to 10 minutes time, it's going to show you out of stock, click in stock alert. You'll be emailed when it's back in stock. And you're not going to go out to Amazon and find it. Obviously, we know Best Buy has had some kind of a bad relationship with DJI because they're not getting them drones anymore. And you're probably not going to see it at Adorama or B&H, okay? So when you're out there on, say, the 22nd or the 24th, and you go out there and you're getting ready to order it, hit the buy button, all right, if you have any hesitancy, and get the base package, okay? And like I said, and then order it, follow through, pay for it, come back, order a battery, okay? And then if you want to go back and get the controller, if it's available a la carte, go ahead and do that, all right? And the nice thing about that is, all right, you can go ahead and get care refresh after the fact, okay? You don't necessarily have to, and this is one thing I think a lot of people get really tied in with, is when they're ordering these drones, they got to order care refresh right away. No, you don't, okay? You have X number of time after you receive the drone to go ahead and order that. But what
Bill, when you first start the drone up for the first time and whatever, go over the DJI and whatever you want to call activate it, you'll be presented with the opportunity to get care refresh right then and there on the drone and the controller.
Mark brought up a good point. The Neo and the Flip are also 04, so that
is a good point. Of course, Bill, that shows you my respect for those two drones. I don't even put them in the equation. and Lauren makes a good point too. DJI doesn't usually make mistakes, or whatever. Mark, Mark, I take that tongue in cheek or whatever. That I don't even consider them real drones.
And like Lauren said, 48 hours after activating.
Yeah. So again, you have to get your care refresh right then and there. So Bill, let me back up just a little bit. So you think if, say, on launch day, was it 22nd and 24th, if you, in the first 5 minutes of being live, if you make the purchase, you think it's going back to old days, you can expect 2 or 3 days shipping.
Yeah, I think it will.
I think right away. Yeah,
I think they'll be here. I think they have their customs issue cleared up because of the Air 3S availability and the Mini 4 Pro availability. And I think you'll get it in 2 to 3 days time. I think they'll come from warehouses in the United States. They'll be already here. They're on pallets and boom, you'll get them. Now, like I said, the one thing is, all right, because I know a lot of people are probably going to try to gear to get that basic combo. If you're going to do that, get in there and do it. Don't hesitate. Don't even think, pull out the plastic, however you're going to pay, get it done. Because the longer you wait, if you wait more than 5 or 10 minutes, it's going to be out of stock. I can guarantee you that. So get in there right away, get it ordered. And one of the other things too, and I think, we kind of allude to this when we have our drone release parties. Usually they're at 9:00 Eastern on Drone Nation. We're out there at 8:30 and we're looking already, okay, when that site goes live, when the drones go live. And they may be ready at 8:45 and maybe out there, and you can start ordering that at 8:45 before we even come on the air. So what you need to start doing is, and this is just a tip for everybody, if you're really wanting to get this drone, get on about 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, I'm assuming, okay, based on,
Yeah, but Bill, the last couple of releases have been 8 a.m. They moved up to 8 a.m. for the last couple drones.
Eddie, you are more than welcome to come. We'll have you on, okay? We have a drone party, okay? Johnny Drone Flyer, he brings all kind of great food, so you need to show up. He
supplies the coffee, yeah. Eddie, we'll be there with Bell's one, right, Bill?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny, okay? I love Marcus.
But it's 8 a.m. now, Bill. All the recent releases have been 8 a.m.
At 8 a.m. Well, our good friend Marcus is not a morning person, okay? No. So I really feel for him when he gets on at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is probably about 5 or 6 his time. And, he's out there. He looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. But then after that's over, boom, he's back. He's catching up on his rest. So I really feel for him.
He will get up for a drone, but he won't get up for an action camera or anything.
There we go with that. So, but yeah, I want to
say hello to Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill Toys is out in the chat. Uncle Bill, of course, is recovering from he had illness a while back, but I heard Bill's doing real good, and he'll be at the meetup next week or 2 weeks or whatever you want to say, and doing the usual live stream.
Bill, that's good to hear. We're good to hear that you're on the mend and you're getting better. That's obviously good, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there at the meetup. I've gotten pinged already by a number of people, Ron, about going to the meetup. We're going to kind of talk. We're going to kind of switch gears here a little bit. I've gotten several messages already. Are you guys going? Yeah, Val. The number one question I get asked is Valerie coming? Okay, not me. Is Valerie coming? I'm like, well, yeah, she's coming. I mean, wow. I mean, Oh, okay. I'll be there too. Oh, okay. But we really want to see Valerie. Okay, kind of a thing. So, but all's good about that. But no, we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Ron brought up a really good point last night during Drone Nation. Okay, 364 days of the year we can get out there and enjoy our hobby. Okay, this is one day for me that I really don't fly drones. Okay, because I want to spend time. I want to talk to people. I want to see people I may only see once a year at the meetup here. And I think it's so good. And I think Ron kind of alluded to it last night. Okay. That's the point of this meetup. The point of the meetup, if you want to fly on Sunday or earlier in the week, that's there's times to do that. And I think that's great. But on Saturday, when we're at the causeway, it's time to walk around, talk, laugh, have enjoy some great conversation with your drone friends. Okay, because this is the one time we get to see everybody there. Okay, and it's fantastic. You can't beat it. And the price is right, and you're going to have great prizes. There's an Air 3S that's being given away. So if you were on the bubble about thinking about coming, just go. Just don't even think about it. I know Johnny Drone Flyer has a poster that was done by his daughter. Granddaughter for $25. So, see him, he message him if you want to get one of those. It looks fantastic. I'm going to do that. I get paid tomorrow and I get paid Thursday. So I'm going to get money to Johnny for that. So, we're all set for that. Oh, and I found out after listening last night is next year, the meetup is a week later because of Easter. Okay. So be aware of that. If you're making your plans already for 2026, that it's going to be a week later because of where Easter Sunday is going to be falling in 2026. That's just an FYI and a heads up for everybody when you do that. But I think last I heard, and Ray, clue me in here if I'm right. I think I heard you say about 150 going to be showing up. Is that what you heard, Ron?
Yes, that's the number we're hearing. About 150 people are supposed to come.
Like I said, this is going to be, we're going to have a great time. I'm looking forward. If I haven't met you, make sure you come up to me. Okay. Cause I want to meet as many people as I can. I'll be the one there with Valerie. Okay. So it'll be easy to find me. Okay. There won't be, you won't have to go looking very far. So
Bill and I be like politicians walking around. We'll be like politicians walking around shaking hands.
Yeah. Yeah. It is so much fun. And I can't wait to do that, especially, hopefully you can get there Friday night for the meet and greet at the pool and bowling alley. There's some good food there. There's pool tables to shoot pool. It's a lot of chance to sit down and talk again with people and have some fun.
There's raffles and prizes at that event too, Bill. There's a 50-50 and there's stuff going on there too.
Yeah. Ray has 153 on the list now. Wow. Well, let's hope.
And Eddie's talking about 153 pizza slices.
A lot of pizza. There's going to be a lot of pizza there. So, if you guys get a chance to, if it's in your time, Pervy, see if you can get there. I know a lot of people will be traveling a pretty good distance to get there. And we're really looking forward to it. I know, Bob Dempsey, Marcus, and I think there's several others that went out on that cruise that will be back from the cruise by that point in time and will be at the meetup as well. So we're looking forward to them. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So,
or who knows, Bill? Maybe the cruise ship will pull right up at the causeway and let them out.
That could absolutely happen, and maybe, just maybe, we can find that missing drone.
Well, we may need a submarine, or
we may need to get a submarine for something like that. So
we may need the yellow submarine.
Yeah, absolutely. So football talk. Okay, you guys are more than welcome to hang on with us while we do spend our 5 minutes of our drone football talk.
And if you do throw another drone question in chat, we'll still try to answer that too.
Yes, we will still try to answer that too. So Russell Wilson has signed with the New York Giants. Okay,
or going to sign, and they also signed James Winston. So they got two quarterbacks over there, Bill.
Yeah. So Yeah, well, and it's like the drama around Aaron Rodgers. It's like a soap opera. It's like, well, Days of Our Lives or whatever. I mean, he's like a soap opera character. All right, just either he's such a drama queen. I'm like, either sign or not. Okay, either you're going to sign with the Steelers or move on, or you're going to retire or whatever you're going to do. Just get it done. Okay, you've already met with them.
Somebody said he will sign with the Steelers, but he's going to drag this out like 6 weeks.
Well, the longer he drags it out, the more it's going to be Mason Rudolph is going to be our starting quarterback for this year. So, and I like Mason. I think he's a good guy. He did well for us. When I thought he did a great job. The last few games he was in a couple of years ago, I was very pleased, and I'm glad they have him back. He's a good guy. I like him. So we'll see how that goes.
He made a couple starts in Tennessee last year too. So he's still he's been playing.
Yeah.
But do you think the Steelers, this is mismanagement again, that they've let the whole quarterback carousel pass them by, and the only option they have now is Rodgers, who I just thought somebody called him, like, what's the name they have for difficult? They're going to get somebody that's overaged, can't move much anymore, still threw the ball well this year, but he's also not easy to get along with. He's a coach. Yeah. He's a coach killer. I mean, everything's going to be fine until things start to go wrong.
Well,
then
here's what
the real Aaron Rodgers comes out.
Well, one of my friends said this. He's all for them signing Aaron Rodgers. He says, look at his track record with coaches. How many coaches Aaron Rodgers has gotten fired? Okay, so maybe he can come in and do the Steelers a favor and get Tomlin fired. All right, I'm all for that. If Aaron Rodgers can come in and do that, boom. I'll put it to you this way: Russell Wilson is more mobile than Aaron Rodgers is. Okay. All right. I'll go on record and say that. All right. Yeah. That's, And then
this sets the Steelers back. I mean, beyond, if they do get Rodgers next year, beyond next year, they have no long-term thing for quarterback unless they use a draft pick to draft a young guy. But they say Aaron Rodgers doesn't like to tutor young guys.
Yeah, and I've heard that too. And he
doesn't like to mentor the young guys.
I'll give you a real quick example here, okay? There's a couple of sites that I follow about Frank Sinatra. My mom really loved Frank Sinatra, okay? And it showed a list of things that he would have to have whenever he was singing at a venue, okay? And this list was like this, okay? Like 4 cases of Coca-Cola, 5 bottles of whiskey, 5 bottles of gin, your food, it's just lollipops, lifesavers, just you name it. I mean, it was on this list. Okay. And it's the same thing here with Aaron Rodgers. He's asking for the moon from them. All right. The guy's 41 years old, like you said, immobile. Okay. He can still throw, but his best days are way behind him. All right. And they're going to pay him some outrageous money to come in for a year and screw everything up. Wow.
I mean, there is another option out there. They say the 49ers may be trading Brock Purdy if they can't sign him.
No, that's a plus.
And also, what's the older quarterback? He's on. It's not Carolina. He's on Atlanta now. He got replaced by the young guy. He used to be the Redskins and Vikings starting quarterback.
Oh, Kirk Cousins.
That Kirk Cousins. They didn't release Kirk Cousins, so they could trade him. So you could possibly trade for Kirk Cousins, but now you're getting another old quarterback coming off of injury.
Yeah, okay. And I'll go back to this, okay, and we'll kind of wrap our NFL segment up here in short order. But I'll go back to this. There were rumors here because I had been harping on. I was on Steeler forums and chats for years, saying the last 2 or 3 years of Ben Roethlisberger, Steelers need to draft the next Ben Roethlisberger. They need to draft a future quarterback. All right. Well, had it, and it was kind of substantiated afterwards, and I heard this from somebody. Roethlisberger does a podcast. He's been doing for like 2 or 3 years right now. And somebody who was connected with all that has said one thing, said that he told Art Rooney II, they call him Deuce because the second, that he told him, he said, don't be drafting a quarterback because I want to still be the star of the show. Worry about me. Worry about replacing your quarterback after I'm gone. Was the message that he was giving the Rooneys. Okay. And they obliged him. All right. Because obviously, he walked on water, and he did. He was a great quarterback. But I think the last 2 or 3 years, okay, he was really pushing it. You can tell it was a physical toll on his body. The game he had gotten beaten up. He was definitely ready to retire. And it was kind of sad seeing that. But, on one hand, but on the other hand, he carried a lot of weight with the organization and a lot of clout. And that's why that finally got my question answered. Why they didn't draft a quarterback all those years was because he didn't want them to. That was because of him.
Just like Roger didn't like it in Green Bay. Hey, Bill, going back to, let's go old school Pittsburgh still football. Did you see that Facebook article I sent you where in a 1970 draft, there were only 3 Hall of Famers from that class. 2 of them were from the Steelers, Bradshaw and Mel Blount.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was only 3 Hall of Famers in the whole class, and the Steelers draft too. That's back when the Steelers could draft.
Well,
we know that other draft when they got the 4 great guys in the one draft: Lambert, Swan, Stallworth, and somebody else, Webster.
Yeah. Well, you know who did the draft for the Steelers? Was Rooney. Okay, Art Rooney's son, Dan Rooney. Okay, who passed away a few years ago. He was the one who was instrumental in all of this. Okay, he had incredible football knowledge. Okay, incredible. Did he pass? He passed on 0 to his son. None. Gone. History. Gone. So, all right.
But I didn't realize that they had these 2 Hall of Famers, and 2 out of only 3 Hall of Famers from that class.
And they were both with the Steelers. So, any final thoughts here, Ron, as we wrap things up?
Because we're just on Mavic 4 watch, but we're going to get the drone meetup over with first before we go full bore into the Mavic 4. We talked about this before, Bill. About maybe a week, 10 days out is when we're going to get those real specific rumors. We're going to see the product in the box. We're going to see real specs like that right now. We don't even. It says bigger camera sensor. We don't really know the nuts and bolts. We don't know all the sensor sizes and numbers, but we'll find all that. And that's when you hear all that stuff, that's where it gets real for me. When I know the little details and not just the overview. But and again, I'm not going to think about Mini 5 Pro and all that until I see that DJI can ship a drone to a customer in the U.S. without any issues. I know you're hopeful, Bill. I hope you're right. But DJI has to prove to me that they can go back to their old ways and deliver drones like they should.
And I agree, Ron. I'm going to close with that as well too. I'm hopeful DJI what we saw with the Air 3S and the Mini 4 Pro right now and its availability, that you can order them right away and they'll be here lickety split. That it's going to continue with the Mavic 4 Pro. So that's my closing thought for the day. Want to thank all you guys. Great chat tonight. Fantastic chat. Drone meetup's coming up. It's in a couple of weeks. We're so excited about it. If you can get there, get there. We're going to have a lot of fun. And you get to meet Valerie. I mean, wow. I mean, then you get to meet rock stars like Ron and Marcus there too. So, we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time. Looking forward to seeing all you guys out there. As always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good night.